Welcome back to what Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Excelsior. It's a Tier 5 British premium heavy tank located on the north spawn of Serene Coast. This one is under the command of ProvoBob, and yes, he's been playing it again quite heavily. I've got a 3 replay video for you, and you can see he's got that higher level of the Ace tanker on the side of his turret, showing that he's actually played quite a few, and it's the same one for the high caliber on the other side. Now there's also a kangaroo on the side of his vehicle, and that's because ProvoBob actually is an Aussie. He lives in Queensland, as far as I know, actually up near not Adelaide, no, Brisbane. That's it, get it right. The lovely part of the country, near the Great Barrier Reef and all that. It's a fantastic place, quite unique island. It is an island, but it is a continent as well. Well, the Excelsior, it was developed from the Cromwell tank, the A27. This is the A33 Excelsior, as a replacement for the Churchill. Because after the raid on Dieppe, the British weren't certain that the Churchills were up to scratch. So many of them were destroyed by the Germans during the raid. In fact, many of them never even got off the beach. And the reason for that actually became apparent because it was the shingle. They couldn't cope with the terrain. They were sitting there with their tracks turning and not going anywhere. And that made it much easier for the Germans to knock the vehicles out. Only a few actually made it off the beach, and the ones that did, well, some of them got destroyed as well. His first targets turned up. It's a Panzer 4 H. Now he's got a 75mm gun, which is capable of 110 Alpha, and it can penetrate 91mm of armour with standard ammo, as you can see there, and it goes up to 144mm with the APCR. So an Excelsior cannot really penetrate another Excelsior except by using the premium ammo. The gun depression is actually quite good. It's 13 degrees, but he was having a bit difficulty with that position because the ground's a bit steeper there, so you'd have to come over the top and drop his gun in order to get shots on target. Better not to do that because there's probably enemy behind who can actually do damage. But you notice the enemy have outflanked us. They've gone around the corner, and we've got a Hetzer at distance by the railway line. Oh, and he takes him out with one shot. That was excellent. Truly excellent shot. He's got another shot, this time on the Panzer 4. They hit him, or not trying to hit him earlier. Didn't hit him. And he's got that one as well, so 2 kills. Now, English Electric built 2 hulls for the Excelsior, and one of them is actually still at the Bovington Tank Museum, so you can still see it. It's in the vehicle conservation shed. Now, it wasn't accepted as the vehicle for the replacement for the Churchill. In the end, they actually decided not to go ahead and just to upgrade the Churchills that they had. I think they realised in the end that what happened with the Churchill was very unusual, and as a tank it's still good. He's auto aimed onto the Keyhoe. Those Japanese tanks usually are quite a bit of a problem. They've got a decent gun and they're also very mobile, but he's literally tearing this guy to shreds. And there's another kill. That is his 4th kill. It's a kind of widened Cromwell. It is actually slightly wider. There's more armour at the front and the rear. The armour at the sides is fairly poor, so you don't really want to get anyone on your sides. It's only 31.75mm at the sides, but at the front it's 114.3, and at the rear it's 108. So that's why I said that only an Excelsior can really take out another Excelsior by using APCR, because that's the only way they're going to get the ammo through the armour at the front and the rear. With standard ammo, they just won't be able to get through. So if you can outflank Excelsior or get round its sides, then you can actually take advantage of its lack of armour on the sides of the vehicle. What the Excelsior driver has to do is keep the front of the vehicle or the rear of the vehicle towards the enemy at any one time, so they have the tough armour to deal with. You see a lot of players load the APCR the moment they go into battle against an Excelsior, because it's about the only way they can survive. Okay, he's got an M10 RBFM. That's quite a powerful tank destroyer. He has been spotted. He's just about able to get his gun down and gets his first shot in. The guy knows he's in trouble because he's got a 75 as well, but yeah, he can be outgunned by the Excelsior, who's, well, he moved in, but he didn't go for it. That guy's rope, he went up against the wall, backed himself into a corner, you could say, and now we've got a T-34, and it sounds like he's got the 57mm, which means he's got a fast fire rate. And ProvoBob's decided he's going to chase this guy down. He's a one-shot now, no problem. There are 3 tanks up on the enemy, so this will make it 4 tanks up on the enemy if they can get him. Just 1 shot's needed. Yep, that's all he needs. So there are 4 tanks up, but he's now coming onto the peninsula. There's an enemy to his left. He just ignored it. It just drove on. I think he's after the enemy heavies. And the enemy's got an Excelsior themselves in this game. I think Bob's more interested in that B1 up ahead. He should be more concerned about the Excelsior. He's already loaded the APCR because he was using that earlier. It does cost you quite a bit more to use the APCR, but that's what he chooses to do. And really, in a sense, you shouldn't be worried just because you're spamming gold at tier 5. The fact of the matter is, sometimes it is necessary to fire premium ammo. There's no way you're going to survive unless you do, because some of these tanks do have a lot of armour, such as the Excelsior. Well, he gets rid of that Stug. He's got to squeeze between these wrecks to get at the Excelsior, who's just in the cap area, or just at the edge of the cap area. But I don't think this Excelsior is going to like it much when he comes around the corner, because that guy's trying to defend himself, but now he's in a lot of trouble. Okay, now we'll just punch straight through his engine deck. The Valiant's keeping him in place. He suddenly realised what trouble he's in. There's nothing he can do about it, because that Valiant is holding him in place, keeping him tracked by pushing him. And despite the fact he managed to get 1 round into us, he's toast. You can see why ProvoBob has 2 marks of excellence on his barrel. This time round he can load the standard ammo, because that's all you need with a T1 heavy. But he's going to kill this guy 1 shot. Yeah, got him. That is a Radley Waters. Nice going. He's lost his driver though, and that's going to slow him down a bit. Normally a top speed is 38.6 kilometers an hour, but he's going at only 20 kilometers an hour now because he's got no driver. He's still firing the premium ammo though. And that guy's dead, and that is the last of the enemies. So it's a victory for ProvoBob, but he's got a lot of holes in him. Let's have a look at the end of battle results for this game. Here's the end of battle results for the first game in our trio of replays. We've got a first class tanker out of that game, a Hand of God for surviving the battle. Hammer received damage from 4 different enemies, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, he managed to get 10, a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, and a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle. He got a Radley Waters medal. He killed 8 of the enemy tanks in that game. He could have had it 9, but he wasn't fast enough because he'd lost his driver to actually get down and kill that last enemy tank. He got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and of course he got a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. Let's have a look at the team score, see where he is. 2,637 hit points of damage. The next high scorer being the T1 Heavy on his own team with 2,219, and the third highest damage was the Stug 3G that he killed. Was that Stug 3B? I think it's a B actually. It was a B. 1,060 hit points of damage to him, so he was working quite hard. The next is the number of kills. He got 8, which puts him at the top of the table. 3 kills went to the DW2, must have been elsewhere on the battlefield, and 2 kills went to the T1 Heavy and the M10 RBFM on his own team. And when it came to base XP, he's top of the table as well, so he's top in all 3 columns. 1,569 experience points, 1,120 went to the T1 Heavy, and those were the only 2 players who managed to get over 1,000. The next high scorer being the Valiant, who was doing a good job keeping the enemy Excelsior pinned, and he managed to pick up 666 experience points. 35 shots fired, 28 direct hits and 26 penetrations. 2,637 hit points of damage, of which 86 were at more than 300 meters. That was the shot, I think, on the Hetzer at long range. It was a very good shot, actually. 15 hits received from the enemy, 7 penetrations, 8 non-penetrations. Most of the shots that actually hit him are either APCR or they actually went straight through the front of the vehicle. I think the M10 RBFM got a couple in. And the non-penetration shots, well, he was lucky that, again, the enemy that was firing at him was using the wrong sort of ammo or had the wrong kind of penetration, so they couldn't get through his armor. 610 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 8 killed, and 195 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 45,541 credits from the game, and after repair, ammunition resupply, he took away a profit of 3,576 credits. The reason being, obviously, that he was using a lot of gold ammunition or premium ammunition. 1,569 XP times 2 for the first victory, 942 for this being a premium vehicle. It's a very good training vehicle. 5,650 experience points altogether. So that was the first game, and a good one it was too. Let's have a look at the second replay. The second replay is on the Airfield map. He's on the west spawn, and this time round there are bots in the game. Now, he's on the Australian-New Zealand server. At certain times of the day there are a lack of players, and therefore Wargaming actually populates the battlefields with a number of bots. You can tell who they are. They've got the colon in front of and behind their name. So that SAL 42 is a bot, and so is that Duck, the AMX-40. Not everyone's a bot. Some of them are live players, and you can see that in the team list. If you actually have a look at the full team list there, I've put them all up. So you can identify which ones are bots and which ones are not. Now, ProvoBob's decided in this game that, well, I thought he was going to go round along the airfield run, but in fact, what he's doing instead is he's going the long way around to let the KV-1 get there first so he can discover which direction he wants to go in. He's been spotted, so somebody on the enemy team saw him, and I suspect that might be a light tank off to the left, somewhere on the airfield, on the airstrip itself, or somebody on Temple Mount. But there was somebody on Temple Mount. Oh, he's found the looks. The Panzerkampfwagen 2 Ausstellung L, or looks, the links. Here we go. Auto aim on. Yep, first shot in. The standard reload on this gun is 3.64 seconds, and he's got a reload of 3.12, and you see the links just had so much difficulty trying to punch through the armour. If he'd had the 3cm cannon, he might have been able to punch through it just with standard ammo, but as it was with the 5cm gun, he couldn't. Now, there is obviously somebody over there, because I just saw a shot fired at the M5A1 Stuart, which impacted him and actually went through. So I think ProvoBob recognised that as well, and knowing where the enemy is sometimes can be very useful to determining where you can go and what you need to do next. That M5A1 Stuart, which is the Chinese version, actually is a bot, so he doesn't know any different. He knows he's been hit, but he doesn't know what the significance means, that there is an enemy tank here, and oh, he's got a nice one here. That is a real player, I think. And he's just been hit by an M8A1, so there is, over in those bushes, there's an M8A1, he's just started firing APCR at us, he's punching rounds through. Now Bob's trying to work out where he should actually aim the gun, but this M5A1 Stuart is actually getting in the way now. Yeah, unfortunately he's going to take fire if he's not careful. But I think we know which bush he's in. He's in the bush right at the end of that series of rocks, right on the corner. That seems to be the place that he's actually hiding. And he's using the bush mechanic, which is why we can't see him. Oh, ProvoBob's firing with standard ammunition. He's not in that one, Bob. No, not that one either. No, he's in the one, you're just above the one you're aiming at there. No, you went above it. It's actually in the bush. Is he firing HE now to determine where it is? Try slightly to the right. No, no, not that way, the other side. That's the other right. He's trying. No. I'm sorry, but, well, Bob's not listening to me. It's actually, the M8A1 is firing at the M5 Stuart and he's just killed him. In fact, actually, it wasn't him who killed him, it was the DW2, but the M8A1 took most of the damage off him. He is over in that corner, though. He's loaded the APCR back again. Trouble is, if he moves forward, when he's engaging the enemy KV-1, he would actually be exposing his sides, and he doesn't want to do that. There's the KV-1. Well, he's going to puncture holes in that guy's rear because he's not paying attention to who's in behind him, and he's engaging the SAL, and all the time he's losing his hit points. He suddenly killed the SAL, but now it's too late because he's virtually out of use. One more shot to kill. Oh, and he can't get it because the KV-1 managed to move into cover quickly enough, but if ProvoBob drives around the corner, that KV-1 is out of the game. He's back to the garage. And there's nowhere for him to go except over the side of the cliff, and if he does that, he will die. There you go, you're dead. So from this position, he can actually take advantage of those enemy tanks down there. There's a Lux. He's lost sight of them temporarily, but the Valiant is spotting for us. He's moving to a position where he can get nice juicy shots on that Lux. There you go. Don't need to fire premium ammunition though, Bob. You can actually use standard ammo on the Lux. And he's firing the 2cm cannon at us. And he's got no hope of penetrating. You could tell it was the... yes, he's actually... Oh, and there's the Wolverine behind us and a DW2. I think he has to deal with those two. He can't ignore them. The Wolverine's a one-shot. The oh, he's gone. And the DW2, well, he's got very thin armour. So this will be no trouble at all to ProvoBob. Here we go. I go the other side round. The M8A1 has still not been seen, so he's probably still here. And the moment he goes around this corner, he will get fired on. Okay, now move as quickly as you can to get alongside the DW2. See, the DW2 is firing as fast as he can, but he can't do anything about it. Oh, now he's fired premium ammo, but it's too late. He's out the game. And that was a bot. Okay, most of the enemy are on Temple Mount, but if he goes up here, he should be able to hit most of them on the reverse slope, so where our guys can't fire. There they are. T67, he can get that guy with one shot, carefully aimed in the right spot. Come back a bit more, that's it. Oh, no. And instead he's going to go for the Cruiser 4. He tracked him. Keep him tracked. And he got a fire there. Oh, missed that shot. And now he's being hit in the rear by the M8A1, who's moved position. He's now up on that rock, the tank destroyer rock, which is at grid square D8, or is it D9? D9. That's how he's getting shots on Bob. But he's using the standard AP now, which means he's probably run out of premium ammo. The moment he goes around the corner, I think the M8A1 will try to get a shot on him. No, didn't. I'm wrong. So it looks to me now like ProvoBob's actually trying to get back to help his own team hold the cap. Personally, I would have actually gone the other way around. I would have gone the other way towards the enemy cap and then got behind them so they were being shot in the rear. He's been spotted again, but I think it's from these guys up here. Now, there wasn't any Arty in this game. The Excelsior, as it's slightly slow, does actually tend to suffer from Arty shots because it's slow. It's easier to aim. And he's coming up on that Lux. Now, that's a real player. I'd hold your fire until you get really close. You've got rocks between you and him, and he's a long way off. We've got an Su-85I on our team. Now that's the premium tank destroyer that the Soviets made based on the Stug, the Stugs that they captured. You don't often see those because Wargaming doesn't put them on sale all that often, and they normally sell for quite a lot of money as well. And the Lux is trying to escape. He's not going to be able to escape very easily. He's got low hit points, and even though he's put a magazine load into the Lynx, into the Su-85, the Su-85 takes it out on him, and that's finished him off. Now we're equal on numbers. There's 4 left on each side. The enemy team has got 3 bots and a real player. The real player is the T-67. We know that T-67's a one-shot on ProvoBob's team. We've got 3 real players and 1 bot. The bot is the B1. Everyone else is a live player. Okay, he's been spotted again. And that's who spotted him. It's the Panzer IV Ausrung D. Oh no, he was having difficulty trying to aim that one. There's the M8A1 he saw earlier. That's the guy who kept firing at him. And he's a bot actually, and that's why he wasn't firing some of the time. Probably because he was repositioning, or because he didn't know that he was supposed to fire at Bob. Because Bob wasn't firing at him. There's only 1 enemy left. And it's the real player, so Bob's going to chase after him. Now last time he was seen, he was on Temple Mount, but he was on the reverse slope if you remember, and he was trying to escape. So everyone seems to be focused on getting onto the Temple Mount, which I call this area the Temple Mount because it's got a temple or columns that look like it's from a temple down the south end, and also an amphitheatre. I suppose you could call it Amphitheatre Mount, but with all these columns you'd think that there was temples, and the Greeks did tend to put lots of columns on their temples, so they had high roofs, like on the Parthenon. I suspect the Sixth Sense will go off any second. Oh, now he managed to get behind us. He's over there. And he's been hit. Don't get taken out, Bob. Okay, he needs to get his gun depression to work. 1 shot will do it. Yes! And that is the end of the game. And ProvoBob did manage to get 20% of the enemy hit pool, so it's a possible high caliber. Here's the end of battle results, and yet again he's got a first class tanker in the Excelsior. He got a bruiser in this one for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 7. Hand of God for surviving the battle, having received damage from 4 different enemies. A duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. A fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 4 exactly. Fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. And a shell proof for blocking more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. He got a cool-headed because he survived 10 ricochets or non-penetrating shots in a row. A brothers in arms because he platooned with somebody else who had at least 3 kills. A steel wall for blocking the most damage in the game, at least 11 shots. And a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game overall. So it's quite a set of medals for ProvoBob. Let's have a look at the team score and see where he stands. There you go, top of the table with 2,316 hit points. The nearest player to him was the Lux on the enemy team. Pardon me. 2,139 hit points of damage went to him. He was quite a good player. And the next high score after that was the Su-85I with 1,687. When it came to kills, he had the highest number of those with 4. 3 kills to the Su-85I, and then 2 kills to the B1, the Su-85, the T-67, the KB1, and the enemy Lux. When it came to base XP, he's got the top in that one as well. Top in all 3 columns again. 1,389 base experience points. 1,049 went to the Su-85I, the only 2 players over 1,000. The next high scorer being that Lux, who managed to get 632. Bob fired 43 rounds in this game. Still had plenty of ammo left over though, because there's 75 ammo capacity. 22 direct hits and 22 penetrations. He was firing a lot of gold ammo, a lot of premium. 2,316 hit points of damage, of which 118 were at more than 300 meters. 27 hits received from the enemy, a lot. 9 penetrations, 18 non-penetrations, and damage blocked of 1,265 hit points. That contributed towards the steel wall. 2 enemy vehicles were spotted, 7 enemy vehicles were damaged and 4 killed, 195 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 42,756 credits from the game, 90,000 for a personal mission payout. But after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, he actually only walked away with 61,400 credits overall, mainly because he did spend so much on premium ammo. If he hadn't won the mission's payout, he would have suffered a loss, for sure, of at least 30,000. So, yes, I think actually, to be honest, it would have been better actually if he'd been firing standard ammo most of the time, because most of the targets he was firing at, he could pen with standard ammo. 1,389 XP times 2 for the first victory, 834 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 5,002 experience points altogether. So the second battle is also a victory, but another first class on each. So let's have a look at the third replay and see how he gets on in that one. The third replay is on the Karelia map, and we're starting on the southwest spawn. Well, looks like ProvoBob's going to go up to the northwest route rather than going through the southeast corner. I know a lot of enemy tanks tend to go that route, but you do need some players to go off to the southwest. If you don't, it won't stop the enemy tanks from just flying through towards our cap. At least we've got a KV-1 going that way, and in the meantime we've got some tanks accompanying us up this direction, and a good job too, because it's mostly medium tanks that go up this route. And if you get one heavy tank go up this way without any escort, then he can quickly get out-mobbed by the enemy. If you've got 2 tanks attacking you at the same time, you can only shoot at one of them, and so the other one is going to succeed by getting rounds into you. I'm not so happy about the fact that the Type 95 and the KV-1 don't seem to be made up their mind exactly which way they're going to go. But at least ProvoBob does have a Panzer Selbstfahrerfährte 1C and an M4A1 coming up with him, as well as a Churchill 1. Okay, he's loading the premium ammo straight away. Not sure that that's a good idea after he lost credits the last time. Or would have lost credits, I should say. And the first target is a DW2 Buxwagen. Gets his first hit for 109. Now, if this guy's got the 5cm gun, he can pen us with premium ammo. That first round bounced off. He hit something hard. Got one into the engine bay. Oh, no, he did hit us there, and that's for a standard AP round. Chasing after the DW. And he's gone. Ouch! Now that's an Su-85, the tank destroyer designed based on the T-34-85 hull. Or was it the T-34 hull? I think it was the T-34 hull actually. Anyway, the thing is, he's got the 85mm gun. He's capable of doing 180 alpha with a reasonably fast reload rate. So really, we can't afford to take too many 85mm rounds before we'd be put out of action. So ProvoBob at the moment is thinking about going a different route, and well, one of our teammates has decided to throw caution to the winds. He's just taken another round from the 85 because he lost 180, and ProvoBob's going on to the B1. If there's 2 targets coming towards you at the same time, it's much more difficult for the enemy to get a pen. And he took 1 round from the B1 with his 47mm, but he didn't get a pen. Now, he was actually in sniper view there as he was engaging the B1. The B1 did use his premium ammo to get a pen. And he got another round in, so 1 more shot to kill that guy. Ouch, there's the Su-85 again, but he gets the kill, and the P1 is now down. So he's in defilade in here. The Su-85 can't shoot at him whilst he's down here, not without coming forward and diving into the dip himself. But ProvoBob's in the lead, which means that he needs some support. He needs the Churchill to join him. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to take on that Su-85 alone. Churchill 1's approaching. The others are holding back. There's the Su-85. You can see he was right on the cliff edge, using the trees for cover. But he has lost some hit points, I believe. Unfortunately, we've lost virtually all of our teammates. And ProvoBob's telling the rest of his team, go back and defend the cap, because the Cruiser 4 had just killed our KV-1, which means now our cap is vulnerable to being captured. There is a 25 TP down by the swamp. Now, where is that Su-85? Creeping forward. It's just around the corner. There, oh no, there he is. He's actually changed position. He's ahead of us. Now, his gun depression isn't that great, so you can move up. If you go to the left, you can get artificial gun depression over the side of that ground to hit that. Oh, and there's a Stug there as well now. This is where he really does need the premium ammo, but you need to get a move on, Bob. You can't sit around. The enemy's near the cap. Okay, unfortunately, just lost the Churchill 1 to the Su-85. He got one round into the Stug, and now he's going to have to unload on this guy, because that guy's got a 75mm as well. One more shot to kill, and he gets him. Now, do the same to the Su-85, using the wreck for cover. That's it. Oh, takes another hit. So just stay here and fire. And he took another round from the Stug, from the Su-85. 366 hit points lost, but potentially he's got a steel wall. So he must have at least 11 shots that he's received and over 1,000 hit points of damage blocked. He's lost virtually all of his hit points, and I don't think he's going to stay in the cap, which, well, I'm not so sure why he made that decision. There's a Largo off to his right, and the Largo just failed to pen him. I think Bob's given up. He knows that they're going to lose. They've got 3 in the cap now already, and this is definitely going to be a loss. So I think he's resigned that he might as well just get this kill. Now hit him. That's it. Nice. And the kill shot just as the enemy caps out. And potentially he's got 20% of the enemy hit pool, so he might have a high caliber. Here's the end of battle results, and that was the second class tanker game for ProvoBob in the Excelsior. He got a duelist for getting at least 2 tanks who damaged him during the game. He also took a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 4 exactly, and a fire for effect for doing more damage to hit points to his own vehicle. He took a spot medal because he blocked or bounced an incoming round when he had less than 10% of his hit points left. And he got a steel wall for blocking more damage, the most damage in the game, as well as a high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall. But I'm afraid, yes, it was a defeat because the enemy capped out at the other end. If we look at the team score, we can see that, yes, he did get the highest damage, 2,074 hit points. The next high scorer being the BDR-G1B on the enemy team with 1,807. And the third highest damage was the Su-85 on the enemy team with 1,686. When it comes to kills, it was ProvoBob again with 4 kills. 3 kills to the T1 Heavy on the enemy team, 2 kills to the BDR-G1B, the Cruiser Mark IV, and their T28. So I'm afraid nobody else on Bob's team managed to get above 1 kill. And when it came to base XP, it's the enemy team did the best on this one. The BDR-G1B got 766. Then we got ProvoBob at 701, mostly down to the fact that he did get the high caliber. And 634 went to the T1 Heavy on the enemy team. In this game, he fired 24 rounds, got 19 direct hits and 19 penetrations on the enemy, 2,074 hit points of damage, all of it done at close range, 14 hits received from the enemy, 7 penetrations, 7 non-penetrations, 360 hit points of damage blocked by armour, 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 5 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 killed, and he earned 34,216 credits, got 4,200 for the Achievements Award for getting an Epic or Battle Hero medal in a losing or drawn game. He got Battle Hero medals in this one. 57,624 credits altogether, but look at the amount it cost him in premium ammo. Yeah, I think he could have done with standard ammo on some of those targets, because he would have ended up with a profit. As it is, he ended up with a loss for this game of 15,563 credits overall. 701 XP, 420 for the Achievements Award, 673 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 2,355 experience points altogether. So 3 very different games by ProvoBob, but he did get medals in all of them. In fact, he got a high caliber in all of them, as you can see going back through them. So he's definitely showing a trend here. He's picking up medals, and he's taking names, you might say, or killing quite a lot of the enemy at tier 5. So very well done, ProvoBob. 2 victories and 1 defeat, but the defeat was mainly down to the fact that his teammates did not deploy correctly. One of them stayed behind at the cap, got wiped out. The ones that went to the southeast corner couldn't hold back the enemy. There was just too many enemy heavies, and the enemy did put up a good defense on the northwest route to stop them from getting to the cap quickly enough in time. If that Su-85 and the Stug had not been there, I think they probably would have been able to cap out before the enemy did, but I'm afraid Bob just ran out of teammates, and all he could do was do as much damage as he could. So, there you go, the Excelsior and ProvoBob 3 replays. If you enjoyed those replays, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.